The table. Welcome to the Grown Folks Table. Are you guys ready to have some grown folks conversation tonight?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yes.
Well, you see, we're pulled up to the table and we're ready to dive into some deep conversation, but some great conversation. But first, we want to take the moment to introduce ourselves. My name is Elisha V. Cash, and I am the founder and president of the National Women's Empowerment Ministry. And I'm also the author of the Little Red Networking book. They call me the networker because that's what I like to do.
And you do it well. Hi, everybody. My name is Joyce Littell. I am the brand manager for News and Talk 1380 WAOK and the host of The Quiet Storm on V103, both stations in Atlanta, Georgia.
Hello, and I am Dolores Grizzle, the immediate past chapter president of the 100 Black Women Decatur DeKalb.
And I am Vicki B. Turner. I'm an elected official, privileged to sit on the DeKalb County Board of Education. My husband and I have a community initiative on monthly we meet, and it's called DeKalb Cultural Exchange, where we bring relevant information to our community to better inform them and to improve the quality of their lives.
Hello, everyone. Glad that you joined us at the table. I am Livia Bakar, Dr. Livia Bakar, and I am the owner and founder of Sugar Plum Events, Inc., which is an event planning facility that is pretty much on Jonesboro Road, but is here in Atlanta, Georgia. I also am the founder of and host of the annual Girlfriends Brunch, a brunch that we have every New Year's Day for women, and we have something special coming up for this upcoming year. I'm just a woman with many hats, and I do bake by chance. So welcome to the table.
And she's a great baker at that. Well, tonight we're pulling up to the table to talk about to post or not to post. It's such a fun thing to do, this whole social media. You know, some people are still learning how to navigate it, and some people have been on social media for a while, and they are veterans at of posting. But is there something called over posting or not, or posting too much when it comes to relationships and personal business and, you know, things that go on at your job and traveling? You guys tell me, what do you feel about that? Do you think we put too much stuff out there?
Yes. I mean, I do. I think I understand the value of social media. Being in my industry, you know, it is vitally important that, you know, I utilize it, my staff utilize it, and just to let people know what, you know, we are doing. But I think sometimes we can get a little bit too personal on our own stuff. And it just wears me out. You know, I mean, some things I just don't need to know, you know, and some pictures I don't need to see. You know, you know, I mean, it's just like me. I know I should not put anything on there to expose any of this because it's just not right. It's just not right. So I know the value of social media, and I'm pretty sure a whole lot of other folks do too. But I think in everything, you know, we just take things to the extremes because we have it out there for our use. So, you know, yeah, I do think too much is sometimes just too much.
I'm inclined to agree with Joyce. I was a reluctant social media person, and I came aboard about 6 years ago, and I decided I liked it, Joyce. I know I post a picture, and I put a quote up every now and then. But what I find is that people do not give you a real depiction of their lives. And so I've talked to various people who sometimes feel like social media posts make them a bit depressed. I've talked to people, and I'm glad you're nodding your head because you might have heard it. And so what we do is we create a picture of what we think our lives should be, but it's not our reality. And so I tell people, I'm very candid. when I like my husband, I really like him. But when I don't like him, I don't. And we were still girls. I always love him, but I don't always like him, okay? So I don't post the things when I don't like him. I only post when I like him. But that ain't the real world for Robert and Vicky Turner. But I think it's gone overboard. I think people use it to pit people against each other. I think people fight on social media. So I think that there has to be a proper balance. And we're missing that.
I agree. I think, we're in a new age and day and time where, social media is the communicating factor. So this is where people meet up again. This is where people who have not seen their classmates and have not seen folk they worked with in past, employment. This is the place where they meet up and have conversations, and people learn about what you're up to, what you're doing. In some ways is a very positive thing, because I get to see persons who have children, babies, or they got married, or if they start a business or whatever they're doing. Some of that can be it can be good. I do think that in this age of where everything is reality TV, even social media, the celebrities, their marriages, it's an open book on social media. They posting, I'm getting divorced, and then y'all back together. You got the ring up, and so it becomes this whole thing of you're telling too much. Here's the thing that my grandmother said years and years ago, and even my mother said the same thing. Your house is your business. Everybody should not be privy to what goes on in your house, and you should only tell people what you really want them to know. Mm-hmm. And so if we're putting everything on social media, I get, as Vicky said, I love my husband, but some days I don't like him. So if I'm putting up stuff and I'm just talking about whatever fight we had, or talking about him very badly, well, when I'm back with him, or when we reconcile, then your friends or your family, they don't like him, because you said all of this stuff, because it didn't matter if you come back and said that, he bought you this beautiful house and he loves you and this and that. We don't care about that. What we care about the fact that you didn't like him, you can stand him, and he did this, he did that. So you have to be careful in posting all of this stuff. And then the other thing is, people like salacious stuff. So as long as you put this stuff out, you looking crazy. Now, what I don't like is the thirst trap folk. That's my problem. People, the women who are up there with the thirst. Let me break it down for those of us who may not know what in the Sam hell that is. Thirst trapping is people who post pictures in certain kind of clothing, certain kind of picture positions, and things of that nature to attract attention and certain folk. And so if you go on vacation, you can wear whatever kind of bathing suit you want, honey, because I sure do. Hallelujah.
Wait, what is it called, Libby? It's called what?
I don't want you to comment, because see, you 30 something years old. And the fact that you're sitting here asking me this, don't you tell these people this. Don't tell these people this. Don't tell them. You text me off air. You text me off air. Don't you do this. Don't do it. No, ma'am. Thirst trap. It's a thirst trap. So it's being thirsty.
Thirst trap.
So if you say if you on vacation, you're at the beach, you're free to wear whatever you want to wear. But if you wearing your little thong bathing suit, we all grown on the show, we don't need to see the picture of that. We don't need to see the picture of you turned around showing us that. Now, there are some people that don't think anything wrong with that. But here's the problem. Single women, come close to the screen. Come close to the screen. So when you do that, what happens is when you meet someone, they've already met your ASS. Him? Listen,
come on.
They don't have no need to meet nothing else, because they met your assets. And because they met your assets, this is what you're looking for, because you've been thirst trapping on this. So when people are in your inbox and then you turn around and post, the next day or next week, you post and say, I wish I want a good man, and I wish I can go out on a date, and all these things about how hard it is to be single. Well, you're not going to attract anybody that wants to settle down with you, because you've been thirst trapping. Now, that's what I have a problem with. You putting all this stuff, and then you want to know why it's so hard to find a good man. And then men, let's not put it all on ladies, because men put stuff up too. And
Yeah,
then,
they do.
you start dating Jane, then you start dating Sheila, then you start dating Tamika, and then you try to come and think you're gonna date me. I can't be part of Tamika, Sheila, and everybody else. Baby, it's too much of a party. So same difference. Thirst trapping, throw it away in Jesus' name.
And just when I thought I was learning about Facebook, because you all know I was the last person to get on Facebook. Now you got what you call it, thirst trapping.
Thirst trapping.
Thirst trapping.
And you know, and I was
trying to trap the person with the thirst. Come on with me, Dolores.
But you know what? And I was just beginning to think that, so Facebook is not so bad, because remember, I didn't want to be on Facebook because I'm kind of a private person, and I'm just not a person that I want everything about me out there. And so I'm very selective, even being on Facebook now. Now, when I was president, now my media relations team, they've had me on Facebook, they had me on Instagram, all those things, because they were following me as the president through my journey. So all those things was out there, but that's a positive light. That's about women doing empowering things, empowering other women, and talking about women and Black girls. But I think what I see with Facebook, I think it's a great vehicle for people in business, people who are trying to get their business out there and trying to reach a vast number of people. But what you were saying, I don't know so much as I really have a lot of those people as friends, because I'm very selective who can be my friend on Facebook because of those things you're talking about. But I know those things exist. What I am not, is not that I'm oblivious to these things that are being talked about. I know about a lot of sites out there that people are going to, their private sites. They got a lot of things out there, things that men like to go and see and watch. So women, be careful. You don't know what the men out there looking, but it's just so much out there that these women are exposing the men to. It's a lot. Facebook is just, it's a lot, but I'm just going to keep it, conservative. I'm going to keep it in good content, positive.
And
that's what I want to see. But you know what? I'm the one last thing, and I'm going to get off this part. But I think what I hate seeing when I turn on Facebook, it's like the same people with the same stuff. And for me, I really want something I can get something from. I want to be fed from something. So I have to go through all this garbage sometimes just to get to something positive. Yeah. So for those things, but I think that may help them, because I can't say what helps one person doesn't help another, or it might be good for them. Maybe they need that in their life. Maybe they need 5-10 posts of flowers, or something inspirational. They just got these quotes, and sometimes you get so much of that before you can really get to something that was very positive, inspirational, or something you really needed to see and read. Right. That's my take.
And I agree, and I think Dolores, I think you're absolutely right. I think the positive aspect of it, I'm laughing at Jay Peabody and Rashana Butler, who said, "Listen, if we can get in this 2P, we don't care nothing about what you're talking about. We gonna have to show it up." Let me tell you, Saints, I ain't mad at that. I understand we yet struggling and we yet holding on. But there are great parts of this exposure posting too. When you need prayer, if when people who are going through things and don't have a tribe or a circle. There are many people who have posted who are going through different things, and they've been able to get the help they needed, from therapists to just people to be with them in the corner. And if I put a prayer from my mother and said that I need prayer, I've had tons of people reach out to me praying for me very genuinely. So that kind of thing for me is the good side of being not so private about your posting and kind of being vulnerable. So there is a good in it. And I think but we have to establish where is the limit of that. And some people don't think it is. Some people live their lives as an open book, and whether they're on Facebook, Instagram or Twitter, or even Snapchat or TikTok, they are open book, in the media and out of the media. And so You can be around these people and this is the way they live. And so their followers are not shocked. They're not surprised. It's not anything disdain because they've already seen this in real life. So those kind of people, you know, that may be their thing. It's just something I cannot do. To me, I just can't have everybody know every single thing about me. And especially as a single woman, I certainly don't want people to know everything about me, because then people can, using the old school term, can court me the way that I have listed.
Yes.
So you don't really get to see me, get to know me, to know what it's like. All you get to do is come court me based on what I posted. And that's something I wouldn't want either.
Well,
you know, another thing. Go ahead, Vic. Go ahead, Pastor.
Well, my mama think Facebook is from the devil. So when we talk about putting too much stuff out there, especially with the family, family business, and she'll come to me thinking she's telling me something like, "Oh, did you hear about so and so?" I said, "Oh yeah, I saw it on Facebook." And she said, "You saw it on Facebook? You telling me they're putting the business on Facebook? I just don't like that Facebook."
Well, you know what? When you think that, it's probably that the older you are, maybe the more distasteful it might be.
Oh,
you know, it's a generational thing. You've got your millennials, you got your young people. Now, my daughter, who is 36, she has very, very little interest in it because she feels like it's morphed into something that it was never intended to be. Like Libby said, you reconnect with old high school friends or college friends, but it's gone to another place. And so she makes jokes about it, that it's for old people like me.
Right, yes.
I've heard that.
The grandbaby, right? So, but I just think we've lost the balance. And, and I want to insert this in. We have a leader in the White House who really believes in posting, right? Post even out of emotional place. And Libby, you're a therapist, you understand. In ministry, that could go south of the border very easily. But when you're angry, you post. When you're happy, you post. You just out there, and it's become almost reality TV through Facebook or Twitter. So I just think we've lost the art of things being private, as Dolores said, being private and confidential. There are things in my house I want to remain there. And so, and then we've posted on with people and not gotten their permission to put it. So I just think we've lost the art of civility. I think we've lost the art of confidentiality and maturity.
Well, Jay says, I post about my marriage quite a bit because my marriage is a testimony. Both of us say God and therapy changed our love, made us become our best selves and find each other. Plus, he crazy cute, right? And I think Black love out there is good, Jay. I think it needs to be seen, because one thing about it, I think what has been an advantage for us is it's not much to watch on TV, and sometimes you just turn on Facebook and be like, oh, that's good.
And I think it's good to post about marriage, in a way that you can control the narrative. Yeah. And that is a good thing, because I follow Jay and I love the things that she posts about and navigating terrains of marriage and the different things that come to ebb and flows of marriage with blended family, and blending, with children and all of that, and how you do that. I think it's a positive thing. And plus, Jay is a licensed therapist as well. So, she can speak to that from another point of view. And I think it does say a lot about it. So to me, that's a positive post. But if I'm on there posting, one day that, or if she's on there posting one day, I can't stand my husband because I walked in the house, he was in, whatever. I don't want to hear that. I do love to hear that the affection, the love, my husband walked in and gave me the biggest kiss. I can go with all that. I just don't know. I don't want to go too deep to where I can put an image to what you're saying. I don't know how I feel. So that's, to me, I think we do need to see the Black love. I think that's why we see a lot of that. And just, people loving each other, and the personal posts about when you see different things about what healed folk. People helping other people and why they did this and the rescue of folk. Being able to see that, I mean, that's a personal side too. But I think it's still good, and it's still from an empowering place. Now, I do think we do need to see, I'm a person that I like a little tea myself. So I need to get a little, I have advice to deal with. I like to watch the Real Housewives of Potomac and the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And so I like that kind of carrying on sometimes. So I like to see a little something, but I like to see it in this appropriate place. There are different websites, different pages like TMZ or, like that. This is what they do. So I like to go get some of the stuff from there. I'm okay with that. But I don't necessarily want your life to be TMZ to me. Let me look at the other kind of stuff. So I think
what about posting too much? Is it possible that people can overpost?
Absolutely.
Do you have to post every day, or do we need to post every other day? I mean, what's the posting rule?
Well, when you go to some marketing classes or go to some marketing conferences, one of the things that they tell you is to post. I mean, if you're trying to introduce yourself to, a community, then, the experts say to post something every day to introduce yourself. And so on that side, I get it. But, I'm sorry, those 5 photos,
I didn't do it.
I haven't done mine yet because my life been busy. But
it's just too much.
But trust me, Joyce, I've been scrolling through my photos trying to see which 5 I want.
I haven't posted my 5 either.
But and you know what? And it's cool because some people you be like, it's gotten better. But it's just a lot.
What you say, George? Joe done changed. Bless him, Lord.
But you know what, Joyce, too, wouldn't you agree, ladies, that with the pandemic, we have been sequestered, if you will, in the house and not at liberty to do some of the things we were to do a year ago. So you're trying to make the most of the time, right?
Yes.
So I'm like Libby. I looked at the 5 pictures challenge and I said, first, I did, and then I said, well, let me see if I can find my best,
Look, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I look for my 5 too. But I mean, my thing is just trying to keep up with all of that stuff. It's something, because after the 5, I promise you it's gonna be something else. And I'm like, I just got my 5 up. Come on.
But you know what I'm tired of? I'm tired of those games. Okay, I understand we went through the pandemic. People were trying to find things to do. But those games, I'm just so tired of those games. Because I'm not on often. I might cut it on, see what's going on quickly. Because now what I find myself doing, I'm not really even looking or reading anybody's posts. I'm just kind of scrolling through to those people that I know going to put something positive out there or something I'm looking for. I need to see, I need to read. Other than that, I'm gone through it, I'm off. And I might check back in the middle of the day, that type of thing. But I think, as Vicky was saying, our kids say that we're old school because we should be on Instagram. I think I'm going to move on over to the Instagram. I think that's what I'm going to do. I have to learn that now. But I do want to ask a question because I actually fell out with somebody for about a year because what I thought Facebook etiquette was. And my thing is, you can't post about me. I post about me.
Okay.
You post about you or your family. I post about me and my family because I know what I want out there. Or I know what picture I want out there. And I tell you, we fell off about a year. We did.
I mean,
This person did not speak to me because I told them that's how I felt. My thing was, I was just telling you how I feel. I didn't think we were mad. Should they have been mad with me? I mean, is that something to be mad with me about?
Well, I think if someone posts a picture of you that you don't like,
somebody posted a video and I told them I did not like it. It's not that it was in bad taste or anything, but you don't post a video. I post a video. But no one can say that they've seen a video of me on Facebook because I don't post videos of me. And Lord knows I have 1,000 of videos. But I don't, because I'm not one got to see myself in that light on Facebook.
Right.
I don't need that for me. Some people I don't need that. So that's not what I'm on Facebook about. But, and I told him, I said, no, you post you and your family, you don't post mine. So it's about me and mine.
Yeah.
But when it comes to me and mine, you know how I am about that. So,
but then if you find somebody who want to wish you a happy birthday because they're your friend, then you find that you wouldn't want them to do that.
Most people that know me know they better call me on the phone. But but my thing is,
your birthday come up, I know not to post.
But my thing is,
I posted a picture of her too this year for her birthday.
But it was in good taste. I saw it. But my thing is, a lot of people don't use good judgment now.
Right.
Yeah. I have seen some things people will post to people, and I said, why did they put that picture out there? Now, I would not do that to a person. Now, if it's in good taste, because a young lady did do a post and did a lot of pictures of me, but they were in good taste and everything, and that was fine. But some people, they don't care what they put out there. And for that people that really knows me, no, you cannot do that. I don't like that. I wouldn't do you that way. So just treat me like I treat you. Don't, I just think, well, that's my definition of Facebook etiquette.
Well, I think you have to know you have to know the person. You have to know the person. Some people are okay with that. Some people are not. I have friends, even when we take pictures, they want to view the pictures 100 times and choose. I may not be like it because I'm already on pose. Like I know how I'm this camera hit. I'm already.
You've learned your angle.
This is make me thin pose with the hand on the hip. So I'm already ready and I'm to the side. I got it. But some people they don't feel good about that. So I think you need to know the person. And if you do say like a birthday post, go pull a picture that they've already posted. That means they're comfortable with that picture. And so you post what they've already posted. I do agree with you, Dolores. Don't post a video or anything of me, my family, that you really have not gotten approval for. If it's something, if it's something I haven't posted. Now, if it's a picture where we were together and we was at dinner or we were at I don't care about things like that. But don't post nothing for me that we have not talked about that is going to be out there. But I'm typically a little bit more open about it because I do post a lot. I post a lot. I post a lot of selfies. You following me, it's gonna be a selfie probably about 3-4 times this week. It just probably happened. It's gonna be on my post. It's gonna be in my stories. And I'm gonna post, my cakes and things like that. So I think people got to be careful about who the person is, know the person, and know what they will like. Because I guarantee you, Dolores, you've been like that, whether on social media or not. Don't have my business in the street. I don't even want to go past my front porch unless I know about it.
But the funniest thing, that person is not even in the video or anything. Those closet video people videoing you and you don't know it.
Oh,
that's what I'm talking about.
Oh,
and then you see it, you can't do that.
Oh,
I would never do anybody like that. But
well, here it is. You've heard the Facebook edit. You've heard the social media etiquette right here at the grown folks table. Do not post videos without people's permission, people. Or we won't be speaking for 1 year. Okay. And it is allowed for you to post multiple selfies.
Yeah.
So grab your 5. That is totally allowed. She said, we're in a pandemic. And so we don't have a whole all the time we normally have. So we can post as much as we like. There's no limit to posting. On a more serious note, Kushner comment on Black Americans must want to be successful is hitting the headlines all over social media, all over the news waves about Black Americans wanting to be successful. And so, I'm wondering, what pushed him to get in front of the camera and put that whole sentence together and think that was okay to talk about Black Americans not wanting to be successful. Is this another indication of a person standing on their side of privilege?
Yes.
It's an ignorant person. It's a person that's just ignorant. As Joyce said, they are in their privilege. And one thing about ignorance is if you have not exposed yourself or wanted to expose yourself to anything outside of what you have in your box, you're not going to be, first of all, knowledgeable, and you're certainly, not going to be compassionate in what you say.
Mm-hmm.
Sad that comment is he actually believes that and he's not alone.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So there are many people when he made this comment, there are many people who agree with him. And I think the bigger issue is not what he said. The bigger issue is that he represents a population that believes the same, that we're lazy. We don't want to, quote unquote, work our way up. We want handouts. We want to be front in line for this stimulus package. We want to continue to live a life with food stamps. So we want all of the unemployment money because we don't want to go back to work. So we want y'all to keep, doing trillions and trillions of dollars, sending down to unemployment and extending it because we don't want to work. That's the sad part, that there's a huge population of people that believe that, and they don't believe that it's not an equal platform.
And I think the comments are really coming around the fact that a lot of Black businesses are not doing well and saying that they were overlooked when it came to a lot of the money that was issued to businesses for the stimulus packages and things like that, that all businesses weren't able to totally take advantage of the different opportunities that were available for small businesses. And so when you make a comment like that, I think there has been, because I'm a Black business owner, and I know a few of you are Black business owners as well. And we've all experienced what it's been like during this time to lose, to have to pivot, to revamp, to try to stay afloat, So for a person to come and make a comment like that, to say, oh, we've given you everything. If you want to be successful, you got to show that you want to be successful. I think we have proven that Black America wants to be successful. We're past that. Go ahead.
You know what, E? Let me just say this. Every statement that is made doesn't warrant a response. You know how, why give credence to something as ignorant and as foolish as this? Now, sometimes people make comments for shock value. You know that.
Yes.
And it's to bring attention to them or whatever they represent. But I'm just saying, in 2020, and we know the plight of our people, the undisturbed in our community, people of color. We understand the chasm that is between rich and poor, the affluent and the less. And then for somebody to be so insensitive and ignorant to make a statement such as this, I don't want to even give it the time of day, because he knows better. I really believe that. That man is not that stupid that he would believe that Black people don't want to be successful. Give me a break.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's all for shock value. I do. To keep something in the forefront. But I'm just disappointed. It seems like the progress that we want to celebrate we've made, we've not made it. When people like that speak out of that space, because you know a tree by the fruit it bears, you know out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. That's it.
Yeah, I think, like Pastor, like you said, I think privilege just lead the conversation with them. When they haven't had to ask or beg and plead and borrow, and sometimes have somebody else stand in your stead just to try to get it. I think with people like that, with them just not knowing, it just makes them think that it's okay to make those kinds of comments. I used to work with a white guy, and he used to say some things, and I used to tell him, I said, you say these things because you haven't had to deal with it. And because you haven't had to deal with it, you think this is how life has been, and has been for everybody, not for us. Not for us. We haven't had the opportunity to just say, here's my business plan. Here's what my goals are. Here's what I would like to do with this business. Now, all I need is this loan.
Yes.
And then you get denied, and you get denied again, and you get denied again. So, people of privilege like that, I'm sorry, I don't like to speak violence, but you want to bust them in the face and be like, all right, go somewhere and sit down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just sick
I'm
of
with
it,
Yeah.
I'm just sick of it. And I'm like, Vicky, sometimes you just want to just not say anything, just to not to make them feel like, we should be listening to the foolishness that comes out of your mouth, because you're not us. And you haven't experienced this all of our lives.
Right. And he's in his position because of the nepotism.
Yeah.
He's truly, yes, white privilege. I'm like, how dare you to lecture us on what is best for us and our community and just how we feel about things. I think it's the most ignorant thing. And I'm like in agreement with Obama. Where did these people come from? I mean, it's like, who do they talk to? But and I'm like, you too, Joyce. I mean, I worked 15 years with people just like him, because I worked in advertising, and in advertising, that's all there is white privilege. And to be maybe five out of the 150 in the office. I mean, you see it all the time. All the time. And I work with millionaires, so I know how they think. Right. I know how they think about us. I know what it was like working with them every day. Right. So this here with Kushner, yes, this is ignorant, and who cares about what he thinks? He thinks Trump's policy can help people, with our problems. I'm like, who are you to tell us about our problems? But I think Black people are very, very successful. I think we're doing excellent jobs with the next generations even being more successful than, say, we are. Our children's children are going to be successful. So we don't need him or his father-in-law to tell us anything about being successful, and that we need their policies to help get us there. I think we're already there.
Yeah. Well, one of the things
I agree with that.
Go ahead, Libby.
Real quick, I agree with you, Dolores, and I was going to say, we have to remember this goes back to that sharecropping thing. When we were sharecropping, and they told us that if we were to sharecrop a certain amount, that we can own our land. And every time we would go and reach that goal they gave us, then they would say that's not enough because we owe them this, we owe them that. So the success is not based on what we do. That's the unfortunate thing in their mind. Success is based on what they allow. They're not allowing us to get to a certain level because they're blocking the director's job, jobs. They're blocking the manager jobs. They're blocking the VP jobs, the CEO jobs, and all these other things, or even loans. Like Joyce said, for us to even try to open our business, if we had to jump I know we had to jump through a million hoops just to open up a facility. The coding
Yes.
we're doing. We couldn't call up a friend, dial a friend and call daddy. The daddy to call somebody else to get us in the door. So yeah, it goes back to that. It goes back to clipping our wings that's keeping us to fly. And we
Well, let me
find another way around it.
Let me propose this question. Do you all think that that Black America or our community lacks the infrastructure and resources to support itself? You know, and when the reason why I ask that is because when you think about the different communities, like you have the Asian community where they have Chinatown and you know they have the resources, the banks, you know, all their money is right there. Everything they need for their kid education, their grocery stores, all of that. And then you have the Jewish community, and then you have the Indian community. You know, so every community has some type of infrastructure and resources for themselves. Does the Black community, do we have that?
I don't think we do. I think we missed the boat on that purchasing power. I think it's because of trust. I really think we have these trust issues, and I think because maybe some of us been hurt with doing business with Black people. I think that might be my problem. You know, because I've done some business and I was burned a lot, and you know, then you begin to not trust. But I think if we had that, that definitely would strengthen our community. We definitely, if we could recycle those dollars, we don't do it like the Asians. You're right. They keep that money circulating in their communities. And our money come in and it goes out. So we don't have that buying power to continue to create jobs and all the other things that we need to. Because Black businesses, you know, they really declined 41% since this COVID back in April.
Right.
That's huge.
But you know what, Dolores, I agree with you. It's trust issues. And, you know, I owned my own school for years. And I saw that if I did business with a Black-owned business, an entrepreneur, and if they burned me, it made me suspect about doing it again with another, right? But I thought about it. I really had an intense moment where I thought, if you go down here to a bank that is predominantly white controlled, and if they burn you, you just go to another bank that is white controlled.
Yes.
So they still benefit from our dollars, but we get suspect. And I was one of those people about others, right? And
Right.
so have those stories. But I do believe that this thing was embedded in us from many years ago during slavery, where you pitted us against one another. And so you had those that lived in the house and those that worked in the field, and they were different.
Yes.
Some was better based on skin complexion and coloring. So our coloring, we still have a lot of that stuff that is innate, that's inside of us, that we need to be purged so that we can empower ourselves to be successful. The Black dollar is powerful, but we need for our community to benefit from it. But so I think we have a long way to go. I think that I won't give up. I won't give up. I'll keep trying, but I know we have a long way to go.
Well, I just thought Bettina put in the comment that we lack the resources. So thank you, Bettina, for commenting. And for those of you that are watching, you know, you guys chime in too and let us know your thoughts at the table. Go ahead, Joyce. You were getting ready to say something?
I think the big thing that we also have to do is to make sure that when we are blessed with a business, that we be the best in it, and we can't half step with it, because we are going to be criticized, and we are the first to criticize each other. You know, but the thing of it is nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wrong with saying you need to be better at this.
Yes.
And we have to work towards getting better at that. And I think sometimes we jump out there, you know, too soon, that we haven't really invested in the areas that's going to make us look good and make people want to do business with us. And so, I mean, you know, I've run across some of those. I'm like, I'm trying, I'm really trying, you know, to support you. But you cannot, you know, be like this every time I come.
No.
So I think overall in some businesses it's our service. It's make sure that we might be knowledgeable, but what we present, you know, it has to be as top notch as we possibly can. And if we're not financially ready to do that, then don't do it.
That's right.
Don't jump out there. You know.
And yeah. And you know, is I think the best business owners are those who are able to glean and learn from others. I think what our issue has been is that we have not had the privilege of being able to learn from daddy and learn from mama and learn from granddaddy and learn from grandmother. So we don't know how to handle money. We don't know how to handle customers. We don't know how to give the best service because where we have learned, we've learned from people who have done just what we're doing. So this is why we see the pattern of Black businesses looking the same in a lot of places, is because we went to this business bad. We started business bad. Everybody is not meant to be an owner of a business. Some people are, they may be the mind behind it, or the funding person behind it, but you may need to hire somebody who can be the face of the business.
Yeah,
Right.
And that who can come in, who's learned, who's been around, and send your managers to places that do well, white, Black, Indian, Asian, whatever. Send them to places and let them come back and model certain things. That's the problem. People don't model success or model how to do this. And we weren't taught that. All we knew, we can cook good, so open a restaurant. So real good. So let's become a tailor or a seamstress, you know, or guess what? We can bake. And so let's just start baking for people. But we don't go and try to research what product price is about. It's like what other folks, your competitors are charging, you know, what utensils you need and how much it is to do. And go to YouTube, Google, learn how to make, you know, certain things right. Don't just put out product any kind of way. If you're going to cook collard greens, that's give yourself about 6 people to taste, not from your family. They've been eating your collard greens. They're gonna always say, "Yeah, it's the best collard green." But
a hungry uncle ain't it. A hungry uncle ain't it.
Collard greens off the menu, because this menu with your collard greens is not it. So we need to do more research before we open, before we get into business. I had this conversation with someone. They, you know, as Black people, oftentimes we have a million businesses to open. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Hey, you got to hone in somewhere. Hone in, focus, go and learn about it. Talk to someone who's been in business, and they can tell you, no, it's not going to pop off for you like you think in your head. You're going to want to throw in the towel. You're not going to make no money for 5 to 7 years.
Yes.
Building in 5 to 7 years. And you be mad at the customer if they come in there and they waited and they pre-ordered and walked in, they food ain't ready. Said in your app or on your website that if I get there at 7:35 p.m., my wings gonna be ready. Well, I should have to wait 10 minutes for my wings if you told me at 7:35. So what you need to fix your platform. Go and adjust your platform according to your productivity. That's what's wrong with us. We didn't learn certain things because we didn't have the privilege, as Joyce said, but that doesn't mean that we have to be ignorant.
But what's one of your favorite Black-owned businesses tonight? Like if you had to shout it out at the table so people can go out and try it. What's your favorite Black-owned business? Well, I'll go first while y'all think. So one of my favorites is the McBride sisters. They have a winery. They're two sisters. They have a winery, and so they have their own wine. So there is really phenomenal. So the McBride sisters.
McBride.
Yes, they have their own wine for those of you that like to try wine. And then my other one is Nutritress hair products. Nutritress hair products. I love Nutritress hair products. It's owned by African American woman right here in Atlanta, Deshaun Bullard. Woo, woo, woo. And all of her products can be found in Target, JC Penney's, online. So those are my two phenomenal, my two favorite Black-owned businesses and products.
Mhm.
Anybody else want to go? Tell me.
Well, I wish I had my list ready, but there's a lot of them. One of them I would come outside of the restaurant business to talk about. A good friend that went to seminary with me. He's a tailor, so he did all of my masks for our my event planning company for our staff, and he tailored them. They are made with great quality material. They're professional looking, and they're cut properly to cover the face. So his business is P Square Clothing, and his name is Brandon Smith. He's on Facebook, P Square Clothing, and he does make clothes for women. I've seen some things that he's tailored, cute pantsuits that he's getting into for ladies, but mostly does a lot of things for men. So he is a tailor, and that's the Black-owned business that I would choose tonight as a favorite for me, because he, like I said, and his turnaround and customer service is above par.
Yeah. From a service standpoint, a young lady by the name of Lori Mans with Quality Business Solutions. She assists people in gaining sponsorships and getting the monies needed to build their businesses. And she's very efficient. And so her name is Lori Mans with Quality Business Solutions. She's an excellent person. And I have to, shout out to my niece, Tiffany Drayton.
Yes.
She makes cupcakes, cakes, and everything like you, Libby. I mean, your stuff make you want to go through the page, and so does hers.
I love
So young entrepreneur. She's only 30 something, early 30 something years old, and
fried Oreos are the die for.
she does very well in catering and her desserts. So Tiffany Sweet Tooths. Go on Facebook and Instagram and look that up and order something, because she does very, very, very well. And my other niece, Tamara Bascom, has a new company called Queenish, where she sets you up with all the accessories you need to step out and look good. And so she's new to the business. She's very efficient in it. And so I just want to shout her out for starting her business and growing. I mean, she has a long way to go, but she's growing and she's doing well in it. And her business is called Queenish.
Yes, Queenish has nice eye.
If I had known we were going to do the shout outs, I would have had a list together.
Me too.
my husband and I, we consider ourselves foodies, right? And you can look at our bodies and tell it's true. But we love, I love soul food. My parents, my mom was one of 12, and they had phenomenal skills when it comes to cooking. So I'm a critic when it comes to good food. And so my family, while they were excellent cooks, they couldn't necessarily run a business. And so I think I'm glad they never tried that one with the food. But Annie Laurel, which is over on Highway 85, and I heard the story. This woman is a Black woman who worked for Evander Holyfield for many years as his private chef. And then he financed her starting the business. And so she is, they have a restaurant. I've never been privileged to meet her, but I go over there. My husband and I go over, and the kids, and they call in these orders. The lines wrap the building. But to die for peach cobbler, I mean, slap your mama. But that's one thing. I'm a foodie person. But another one I'll give a shout out for is Ida Lanier. Dr. Ida Lanier is a dentist, and we go to her. And what I love about Dr. Lanier's practice, and she and I talked about this in past years, is customer service. I like people who have phenomenal, the first person you meet in a business will make or break business for you. And so Dr. Ida Lanier has these beautiful, spirited people in a professional practice over on Panthersville, and she has a subsequent location on Panola Road. So anybody in the business for a good dentist, I would look at Lanier, Ida Lanier.
Vicky, what about the place in Kirkwood? What's the name you and I went to for breakfast? I think that was an awesome.
Petite Marches.
Yes.
Yes, shout out to them.
Yeah.
Shout out
to them.
They were closed today, but I love me some La Petite Marches. Yes, they have a grit stack to die for.
Yes, and apple grits too.
Yes.
Thanks for introducing me to that place.
Yeah, a wonderful woman. I met her. She's in the Kirkwood area. She and her father. Her father works there with her, and it's just a wonderful place to frequent. It is.
Yes.
Another one I would give as a another one which is a restaurant, it's called Rock South Cuisine, and it's on Buford Highway. They do great brunch. They do great regular foods. The food is great, and people rave about it. And so that's another place to go. They have great customer service as well.
So for everyone that's sharing restaurants, you may, this is in the metro Atlanta area, because we know that nationally people watch our show, but we want and listen to our podcast, but a lot of the restaurants we're shouting out are metro Atlanta. So anytime that you're here in the city, then please make sure you check these places out. Tonight we have on these phenomenal boat shirts.
Yeah.
And can y'all see that vote, baby?
Vote, baby, vote.
And Vote Baby Vote is actually my product line, but it's here to tell a story because we want to make sure that everyone knows and remember to get out there and vote. There's all kind of crazy talking going on about voting, fear tactics being thrown at people that are registered to vote. And so we want to make sure that we are committed, and we want to challenge you to get 5 people. If you voted already, then that's wonderful. You're ahead of the game. And we have one more day if you're in Metro Atlanta for early voting, which is tomorrow. But we want to encourage you to get 5 other people that you know that have not voted yet and tell them, get that tail to the polls.
Yes.
Ask them what they waiting on. Get to the polls. Don't wait till next Tuesday. Please go by tomorrow. But if they have to wait till Tuesday, I don't care if you drive them to the polls yourself. If you're taking them snacks, you got to put people in the car. Take everybody to the polls. Have you guys heard some crazy stuff going out there about not valuing the right to vote?
Well, you know what? I'm not crazy, but I do want to give a shout out. My grandson is 18, and he's a first-time voter. And he voted for his nana first. But he's in college in Savannah. And his dad drove down to get him, to bring him up here to vote. And I am so proud that I feel like we've passed something on to our children and our children's children on the value and the benefit of their vote. So I say, wherever our kids are, go get them and take them to the polls. I like your challenge, 5 people. I've not heard anything but good things. I heard about a 94-year-old woman that insisted she wanted to go to that poll, and she did, and she cast her vote. And she was an African-American woman. So I say, our vote matters. Let's make it count.
Let's make it count.
Well, we'll be back here next Thursday. And so be hearing your feedback on your voting experience. We want you to tell us about it. You know, what was it like for you to go out and vote? How much did your vote meant to you? How are other people impacted by your vote? What is your community saying about getting out to vote? There's so much that's surrounding and that's on standing in the balance about our vote. And so we're taking our vote serious. So remember, vote, baby, vote. And we see you back here on next Thursday. Please, if you haven't already, subscribe to our podcast. We're on all the podcast channels, and we have some new material out there. And share. Please share the Grown Folks Table podcast. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Vote, y'all. Have a good night.
Good night.
Vote.
Vote.
Vote.